It's for Elijah, man. I'm waiting on L. It's live out here right now.
What's that? This is Carol?
Yes, sir. It's live out here. What's up, family? What's up, guys? What's up? Everybody out here happy with the joints right now, man. You know what I mean? What's good, baby? All right? Everything working. We out here making it happen. On the camera, y'all want to get no pictures in? Let's get it in. Come on, let's get it. All right, what's up, baby? I got you. Yeah, man. We out cooling right now, though. Everything working. I'm with the guy. What's good, baby? I'm with the guy right now, man. You already know the rest. That's what it's all about right there, man. That's what we came up here for, man. Real shit, man. Everybody out here thick right now for a reason, man. It's real. I mean, I should have wrote a 16 for this shit. You already know what it is, man. I'm out here live with the 231, baby. That's exactly what we out here for. You know what it is, man. Gotta pay them respects, baby. None other than, baby. You know what it is. 616 all the way to 231 to the death.
Muskegon family demanding answers after a 16-year-old young man was shot and killed.
One day after a shooting in Muskegon that killed one person and left another in the hospital, the neighborhood is coming together to pray.
And now we turn to a tragedy in Muskegon Heights. A 14-year-old gunned down and left for dead in the street. Another murder in Muskegon Heights, another teen lost to the streets. Tonight, his family hopes that the pain hits home for the city's youth.
Breaking now at 11, a Muskegon Heights high school student shot and killed while walking to his basketball banquet.
We begin tonight with the latest out of Muskegon, where a 16-year-old boy was killed tonight. His body found a few hours ago near a local elementary school. And now police are fearful more violence could follow.
Just got word from the prosecutor's office that they are handling the shooting death investigation here as an accidental situation. A final determination has not been made, but at this point, they do believe this all may have simply been an accident.
We now know the identity of a teenager shot and killed last night in Muskegon. It happened just before 10 o'clock near 7th Street and Grand Avenue. Muskegon police found an 18-year-old Mervyn Bonner shot in the head.
You know, we have a lot of groups out here running for people who they've lost. We know we've told you about Marquise Gresham, the Muskegon Heights high school student who was gunned down just recently, a basketball player there, a standout student. And this morning we're joined here live with a group of his teammates and his mentor, and they're here running in his honor. We're going to talk to Sid. Sid, talk about why you guys wanted to do this for Marquise. It would really mean a lot to me.
We just wanted to come out here and honor him by running for him. And,
Yeah, Muskegon's got its dark side. It's got a really dark side. And all my life, I was told not to go to Muskegon. It's the type of area where we were taught to lock the doors when we were driving through it. I wouldn't really label it a dangerous place, but it's not a safe place. But I think some of the most beautiful things come out of the darkest moments. That's why I'm so Muskegon. This is my friend Darby. His family's lived here for 115 years, in Muskegon Heights specifically. He's a great wealth of local history and local knowledge, but I'll let him introduce himself and tell the story.
My name's Darby Sagala. I'm a lifelong resident of Muskegon County. I was born and raised in Muskegon Heights. I lived there for 28 years, and I am a Muskegon history enthusiast. So the post-war boom throughout the country also came to Muskegon Heights. During the wartime, there were a lot of families that came up from the south because there were manufacturing jobs here. Muskegon Heights was the Norton Shores of the community at that time. There were shops all throughout downtown Muskegon Heights, right up until the early 90s. Places like Sanborn's Jewelers, places like the Camera Shop, places that are still in our community today, but are no longer in Muskegon Heights itself. You can use Muskegon as a microcosm of Detroit. When racial tensions in the 60s hit a high there, they also hit a high here. You can still see the murals over on Dr. Jackson's office on Peck Street of when there were protests with the foundries here. CWC in particular. That's Campbell, Watt, and Cannon. And after those tensions increased, a lot of families decided that, hey, we've got to look for greener pastures. And a lot of that was caused by the racial tensions that happened. It transforming into a city coincided with all of these things to kind of bring a confluence of factors to how Muskegon Heights started its gradual decline around the late 60s and early 70s. It was still a prosperous area, no doubt, but there wasn't really any room to expand manufacturing. Norge refrigerators, they were one of the first to leave, and after that, it kind of trickled through. All the way up until the last big manufacturer, Liftech, left in the 2000s, really, the last place that employed hundreds and hundreds of people in Muskegon Heights. People don't think about it, but Muskegon Heights, population-wise, was literally twice the size it is today. And not too long ago, we're talking the 1980s, it would have been at its peak population-wise. And as the jobs left, people left, either to other climes entirely, because Muskegon as a whole, even at this point, wasn't prosperous. There was a recession, there was a decline. So they went where manufacturing jobs were, and that wasn't Muskegon. It used to be said that when Detroit caught cold, Flint would sneeze. Well, when Flint would sneeze, Muskegon would fall down because it was also tied to the auto industry to a degree at this point, and it wasn't as large as either of those cities. And after the tax base left, which is what the industry is, there wasn't money to sustain things like education. The city fell into debt. And the thing of it is teachers are great. Teachers do wonderful things. We don't pay teachers nearly enough. Everybody says these things. But when you're in a community that's had its legs knocked out from under it, on top of the fact that teachers don't make enough already, well, the better teachers are going to seek greener pastures because they're already underpaid, let alone if you're under-resourced. So, as industries left, there wasn't a tax base left for schools. The educational system in Muskegon Heights started to fail us. Around the early 2000s, the elementary schools started to close, one by one. Lindbergh, Loftus, Glendale, Roosevelt. All these schools that people used to go to no longer exist. This reduced the capacity for the community to support education in a full way. Classrooms that were already underserved became overcrowded. As the overcrowding continued, more and more people decided to send their children to other school districts. Fruitport, Mona Shores, Muskegon, anywhere except Heights. With the education and system in Muskegon Heights failing and the manufacturing jobs all but dried up, commercial district in tatters, incarceration for nonviolent crimes became an epidemic in Muskegon County, like many other communities in the United States. With nowhere else to turn, a lot of people turned to the streets for their livelihood, whether that be selling drugs or prostitution. There was little recourse for those that had no resources left to sustain themselves. This further eroded the community base, tearing families apart. When I was young and coming up in the 90s in Muskegon Heights, it wasn't like it is today. The killing didn't happen at such an unreal rate. Yes, you'd hear about maybe a murder once a summer. You'd see petty things happening, but it wasn't violent. I would hope now that the realization of how bad the situation has become would put an impetus to some of those people who had thought of Muskegon Heights as just a place you don't go, into more so of a mindset that, hey, this is a place that we have to help out.
So now it's the tail end of 2019. We're going into 2020. Muskegon, the city in which I live in, has hit rock bottom. What do we do next? I don't have all the answers, but somehow I figured out an answer. My name is Phill Meyers, and I'm a music producer. You might know me from some of my other job titles. I was in bands in high school. I was in a very popular local band named the Mees. After that, I was in a couple more groups. One was called Deadstock. And then I moved on to rap music when I found Wu-Tang Clan.
So don't take offense, cause my crew's got a sound and I stay convinced. 2010 we done broke the fence. Every word that I said to make now that sense.
All through my history, I was the one recording bands in basements and garages, and then I started recording rappers in bedrooms and living rooms. The point is I just never gave up. No matter what little equipment I had, I always found a way to keep going. Now I stand here 20 years later on my 20th anniversary of creating music. I'm looking back like, wow, this is amazing. Now, I want to do something special.
This is all possible thanks to this man right here. Thanks to this man right here, it's all possible. Look at him all humble. I know he all gonna be humble. I know. I told him, man, I think, 2020, it's the year.
At the beginning of December, I opened up a free pop-up recording studio on Glade Street in Muskegon Heights. And what I saw changed my perspective for the rest of my life. What I saw happening was the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. By opening the doors and offering this service for free, I pulled the whole city through here in less than a week. I think it's important for leaders like myself to step up in the community and provide. The rest of this documentary is about the month that we spent on Glade Street in my pop-up studio. I personally picked 6 artists that I thought really stood out, and I'm doing a little bit of a backstory on them here in this documentary. But before we get into that, let's hear some feedback from people who experienced the first week of the free pop-up studio.
It's like, I don't know what I was expecting when I walked in here, but like, more than what I expected. It's a lot of, the energy is just up. Everyone want to see everyone win and work. I'm just ready to come back, ready to get back in here.
They're definitely taller in person.
Yeah.
Keep me motivated, you know what I'm saying? And I like, you know, the little mellow, the lights and all that made me open my mind a little bit more. It was flooding up. There was 4, 6, 8 people here all
congregating and talking, and it was buzzing. I was like, okay, it's clicking in.
The lights, the way how things set up, you know what I'm saying? Everything just cordial, feel like home. Okay, this kind of dope. Like, I ain't seen this set up before. I bumped across an ad on Facebook that led me to here, so I'm like, let me go check this out.
I was very impressed with the size of the studio. I didn't know that there was going to be more than one space for artists to be able to work in, but overall, when Phil told me he was doing a project like this, I had no idea it was going to be on this level.
Nice layout. Pretty much everything's already put together, so that's nice to, you know, come in. Everything already organized, people already working, so feeling the vibe.
When I first walked in, off the rip, I like this. It's a professional vibe. It's in the commercial space, not residential. 2 studios going on, full surveillance, security, everything you want to see. Everything is on the up and up.
It was a little overwhelming at first, but I caught my vibe, and that's what it's about. It's like coming in here, meeting new people, meeting this person, that person, and it's about really catching that vibe. The first thing I came in and my mind was blown. You got everything set up, very clean, everybody's professional, everything is nice. You know, we come in here right away, business, no clowning around, none of that shit. We got our shit together. It was dope.
Vibe's feeling good. I started feeling good. It's a good little vibe. I hear it's right up the street. I got word from a guy on Facebook. And it's crazy. I could have rolled up here on the hoverboard. I didn't even know. I mean, my kids frequent this on the bikes. And I'm in here making music.
It's busy, but had a good vibe.
Cool.
And then next thing you know, I had seen flash screens and microphones and cameras and green screens everywhere. I was like, I gotta be a part of that.
Good vibes, you know, like movies ready to work. You know what I'm saying? Movies working over here, up and up, you know, right here.
It's really great to see this thing leave my brain and come out into reality. It's just like the greatest thing possible.
Lord knows that the devil got a hold on my city, yeah.
I gotta get that picture in now.
So it's the first day. Sleep came in and dropped a track that ended up being titled Ode. But on the first day, he just laid down the hook, and it was amazing. It was great to see him in here. He actually came in, he was live streaming, which helped with the marketing end of things, and eventually helped with the spread of the studio through word of mouth and people talking about it.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta put that in there.
But I'm trying to.
After Sleep came through and dropped Ode, I also got a chance to meet this cat named Coffee Cappuccino. He's a very interesting fellow. I'm gonna let him talk about himself a little bit for a minute.
They be like, damn, Cole, what side of Muskegon you from? They call New Surf side of Muskegon you from? I like, you know what I'm saying? I was really born downtown Muskegon, Ski Town, A.K. Muskegon, 1926. After 1926, it was called Muskegon. And they be like, man, where you from? I was born downtown in the hospital, so where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? We ain't about where you from is where you at, and that's the ski, my city.
Talk that shit, we gonna do another one. We gonna do another one. It's the real thing here, listen. Here talking that shit, I won't talk, man.
Chuck came through and dropped a track called Bag. Amazing track, super stoked that he came through on day one and dropped such a hot track. Amazing work.
Yeah, he hopping his bag on this one. Go hop in the jag on this one. Go pop a couple tags on this one. Yeah, I can't miss a splash on this one. I had to bring the bag on this one. I had to bring the bag on. Yeah, I'm moving fast on this one. I get on your ass on this one. I swear to God, I ain't on this one. Yeah, I'm with the bad on this one. They gon' be mad on this one. My shooter good, he don't miss none. Yeah, I'm finna spaz on this one. I'm doing a dash on this one. I'm gonna cash on this one.
I got the chance to meet Perp for the first time, and he's an outstanding person and artist. He came through with Bobo to Real Gutta. I've worked with Bobo before. I'm very familiar. Amazing artist, super talent, super talent. Him and Perp worked on a track, and it was great.
I was gonna end it right there.
Leave that, cause that's real.
That's real, ain't it?
You snap that whole bitch. No, leave that bitch there. Don't
cut it. Nigga. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that, DJ. Nah. I thought he wanted to redo that.
Yeah, keep that bitch. That shit raw.
To end it off, Young Rob came through with his brother Chilla. Young Rob is a rapper, and Chilla is a producer. Chilla ended up giving us some beats for the project to use. He was actually the first producer to come through and offer up some of his talent and his skill and bring it to the table for everybody to enjoy. Big shout out to Chilla.
When you do real shit, you be real all your life, man. Bitch, I'm around with my skill finna waste something. I done seen so much shit, I won't say nothing. We try to live by some good dick and made her pay for it. I'm catching praise, looking out for them staples. I try to impress others, I don't care about all that.
Told said they need me, I'm right at the block.
You don't like what you see, you don't. That's you, you feel me? Gotta watch your back, but if you do, just know I do this for the real, you feel me?
All right, so into day 2, I got to meet Robbie for the first time, and him and Perp got to work on a track called Recall that is really great.
My niggas need me, then the block on me. It's double O the gang. Put them road, nigga, black road shit. Young as hell, trying to be on shit. I'm up to sale, never on broke shit. No if it bust about it. We're chasing dollars, focus on progress, blowing the loudest. And this chick.
After that, Bobo came through and dropped a track as well. You know Bobo keeps making those hits.
Got a silence on the rifle, beam on top, don't need no scope. Watch his re-up grow. About 5-6 shots won't breathe no more. Pay my dues, I even scope. Bring a grumbled pistol, help the skelter through whatever weather. Long as we can grow. Can't respect your presence if you out here shoulder deep and blow. Post a double bet that set with pookied up, that clean up though. Just a junkie funky chasing shit that other people won't. Wanna be
Sir
known
Manley came through. He's a producer. I've actually known him for a real long time. He found me a long time ago on MySpace and actually tracked me down in person. Then he brought me up to his recording studio in his apartment and showed me how to use an MPC for the first time. It's a memory that lasted and hung with me for a very long time, ever since it happened. Manley is actually the reason why we're in this building to begin with. He's a realtor and he rented the space to me once I told him about the idea for the pop-up studio.
I'm telling you, nigga. I'm telling you.
Again, to end the night, Young Rob came through with J Trilla and dropped another fire track. That's what they do.
Huh? Fell off and bounced back. Now who really up? Hate shit, won't hate shit. Damn, what the fuck? Hey, you won't work in there with that too. Huh?
Somewhere in the day, a girl named Raven came through. Raven blew everybody away. All she had to do was play a little snippet of her music. She's an incredible artist, and we're gonna go into a little backstory on more of her right now.
I'm you. Just do it like this. I didn't personally grow up in Muskegon. My dad was the head coach of the high school though, so I was around ever since I was a kid. My house wasn't particularly in Muskegon yet. But besides that, as far as like people and community feel, it's one of the best places, especially when I moved to the high school. When I got in high school, it's a family. I grew up off the basketball, so I started playing basketball when I was like 6 or 7, and that's what I thought I was gonna do. Like I could always sing. I drew too. My grandma and my mom wanted me to get into art. My dad's always been a huge sports guy. He coached like kids basketball at the Y before I started coaching football, and just seeing it and being around it and playing with him, it made me want to be good and continue to play basketball. junior year, I slipped. I stopped playing basketball due to an injury, and I didn't really think of music as an option yet. So I wanted to do anything but be good. I just wanted to do bad things, fall into bad habits, and what kept me from that is music. As soon as I was about to slip, I figured out that I needed to do something different. I started writing my own material going on like 2 years now. I don't know, I just want to put like the city on, like I want to put us on the map. So I feel like that I don't really sing about it, I don't write music about it, but it pushes me to write music that will potentially get me to a place where I could help my own city. So, and then the people around me, of course, the artists around me and stuff, they inspire a lot of what I do. Like this city, everyone wants to say that this city's dying out and this city's no good and this city's, you know, this is that. That's because everybody wants to leave. All the talent wants to leave. When, if you really look, you know, underneath everything, there's so much talent here as far as, you know, there's like barbers, there's artists, there's musicians, there's videographers, there's photographers, there's so much, you know, it's crazy here. So I feel like if we could get enough people to bring the attention here, this city could build back up, you know, to what it used to be.
I chose all these artists because they're all super intelligent. But I chose Raven because I could feel her competitive energy. I feel like she has a greater understanding of competition and being successful.
I love music, all genres. I think it's a way for people to express themselves. I think it's an outlet. And I don't know, I just love it. You can't hate it. I don't know, I've always been good at writing as far as like poetry and literature. So, and then I just kind of put my voice to it and a lot of people like it. And then I started to like it. And then, you know, I was like, I could do something, I could use this. And that's exactly what I've been doing. I hear a beat and at first I kind of get the feel for it. I might listen to it a couple times depending on the beat. And then I'll start humming like a melody. I'll just sing along to it and then I'll fill in lyrics right after. And then I'll eventually have a song. Like, you'll be like, freaky dancer, if you really getting money, throw your hand, or something like that, you feel me? Yeah, and then I'm gonna be under you talking about, Yeah. So, yeah, just do it normal. It just hits you. Like, some beats you'll listen to and you'll start playing, and you don't really feel it. Like, I've listened to my fair share of beats where I'm just like, I can't even write to this. But some beats, I'll hear it and I'm like, oh yeah, and it takes me like 10 minutes to write to it, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And I don't know, it's a good feeling. It's just like, that's my beat. That's gonna be a hit. I just wanted to give me like a platform. I want to eventually, it's like baby steps. Like, eventually I want to get a good following on social media, and then I want more people to know my name. I want my city to know my name, and then eventually I want like the region, and then the state, and then I just want to keep getting bigger until I have a following, people listening to me, people wanting to know what I'm gonna do next and what I stand for, and all that. So I just I wanted to bring me somewhere.
I'm in the whip, you know what I'm saying? Cruising and shit. I might be in the garage. Oh, bro, I be in my fucking garage, bro. Blowing, listening to all type of shit, bro. All this.
Is that vocals too, or is that with the beat?
Everything's stacked.
If I ever met a genie, I would rub the lamp 3 times. I just need a couple wishes, or maybe he could press rewind. I don't need a lot of money, I just need a little time. I just wanna go back to the days when I could call you mine.
Bro, yeah, with these people for you be sad for the internet vibes, man. Oh God. That's exactly what I heard. Like, man, hey,
Muskegon High School. This was the last school I went to. I had went to 2 other schools before here. I moved around a lot. And I think out of all the schools I went to, this school was definitely my favorite. It had its problems, but as far as like the community feel to it, this was definitely my favorite. I felt really welcomed here. I think I found myself here. I really did. I didn't really know who I was. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know myself. And I moved here like my sophomore year. And like instantly I just was like, oh yeah, I know who I am and I know who I'm supposed to be. So yeah, Muskegon, by far, my favorite school out of all the ones I went to. I think a lot of people think a lot of negative thoughts on Muskegon and the high school. You know, if you go anywhere and you hear anybody else talk about what they think about Muskegon, you know, who've never been a part of it, they're always just, you know, like it's a poverty-stricken school and there's a bunch of criminals in it and everyone's failing and like everyone outside of Muskegon always has something bad to say about Muskegon. And that's not the case. Like until you come here and live a day in the life of, you know, what it's like to be in Muskegon, I feel like you have no right to talk about it, because ever since I moved here, man, this is home, this is family. Like, you know, usually some people don't like their high school or don't like to go back to their high school and didn't like their high school days, but I love mine. You know, I'm just walking around campus looking at it right now, and like I can just say thank you to it, for real.
It's day 3, and to start it off, Manly and I had a session in his office early morning making some beats.
What's a good reason to say, I mean, one is the ability to chop up like shit like that. Like, let's say, okay, I ain't really feeling this thing.
It's always a pleasure to sit down and learn from him, experience his energy, and all that. He is such a unique individual and a unique producer. Amazing talent with his own funk, his own style, his own pocket. And every time I sit down with him, I get inspired. Next up, AZ came through and he recorded a fire track. I can't wait to put the final mix on this one, but it's always a pleasure to work with AZ.
Perfection is key. Remember that. Perfection. Perfect your craft. Try every day. I don't give a fuck if you don't even sound good to yourself. Right now, I find like I know I'm a dope-ass artist. This shit takes time, okay? 100%. PHANGZ. WSLG. Shoot.
My old friend Kwame came through and we sat down and talked about deep life stuff. That's kind of what we do. Ever since I first met him, we've always connected on a much deeper level. It was great to sit down with him in this very creative environment and talk about ideas in life. I will always be grateful for these talks that I have with Kwame.
So many excuses for just sort of inertia, you know, letting things be. But that time constraint really flips a switch for people.
Time is the most valuable currency, man. It's like nothing will ever beat time. You know, that's what these jobs and stuff, they take us away. And they bribe us, you know, with the money for our time.
I'm strumming my pain here, right? That's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
It's very real. Mine
But
too,
time-
man. I go away for 3 months after this. You know,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
right.
gone. I won't be able to do this. You know.
Jojo came through and I got to meet him up close and personal for the first time. He drops some greatness. That's what he does. The more time I spend with Jojo, the more I really, really enjoy his presence.
Try to bring your name up, please don't you try to throw shame on me. I go through it every day lonely. I'ma take it to the grave slowly. Yeah, this shit is
Last but not least, 7-6 Chain came through and recorded some classic songs. It was a complete honor and pleasure to have 7-6 come in and feel so comfortable and relaxed in this environment.
Want to go to,
you know what I'm saying? People want to put a standard on it. It ain't no standard on it no more.
There is no. It should never be a standard because at the end of the day, music is self-expression.
Exactly.
It should never be a standard on a way.
So that means there ain't no such thing as bad music.
But this what he mean. This what he mean. Like back then, you had to go and promote an album. You had to do all this and that. Sit in front of the goddamn stores.
It's marketing right now.
Sign CDs, shirts, all that shit. I mean, they still doing it, but CD stores not really. People don't even got CDs no more.
Look, Soulja
so
Boy,
just think about it.
Soulja Boy did what he did and turned this into what it is now.
Day 4 kind of turned into a goof-off day. It started with my friend Justin coming in. Justin is a very old friend of mine. We are very deeply spiritually connected. If you believe in past lives and things like that, we've definitely walked together in many past lives before. He's not much of a music producer or engineer or anything like that. He's just a good friend of mine, and he just came through to support, and that was a wonderful feeling.
The one that Phil made at the beginning though is like that one. I'm the one. Whatever is a crazy.
I want to get on your beat, Justin. I want to do some auto tune on that.
My buddy Victor came through. He's a vocal engineer and a producer. We ended up kind of goofing off and making a song called Flash. We were just having fun with the auto tune and making silly sounds.
Pull up with the flash, flash. Pull up with the drip, drip. Pull up with the whip, whip.
Bars, bro.
Pull up with the flash, flash. Pull up with the drip, drip.
Huh? That's you, bro?
King Clark came in next. He's a producer. He makes very great beats. He actually came in and was the first producer outside of Manly who cooked up here in the studio. So big shout out to King Clark for being fearless and coming through and cooking up some heat with us. Very much appreciated, bro. Kel came through and dropped some flames. Kel is actually Sleep So Focused little brother. I've known him for some time now. He's a very good dude, very good energy, and it was great to work with him.
Okay, yeah. Okay, wait. Oh, where you want me? Hey, I gotta put that in though. Where you want that at? Hey. Camouflage. We're about to have a good time. Okay, yeah. Automatic. Bullets flying, and then I'm gonna say that after that though.
Lastly, Chilla Pertilla dropped by. Chilla runs a company called eMag Films. He's a videographer, music producer, artist. He's a lot like me, wears all the hats he can, and is a complete professional. He's actually helping out with the videography for this film, and I couldn't ask for a better person behind the camera.
I like to fuck with the vocal again.
Hey, chill. Let me get a.
Day 5 was definitely the most pivotal point in the whole month. It started off early. Robbie and I went to do a podcast with Jay Ingersoll. Jay Ingersoll is an engineer, a producer, a rapper, a musician. He wears a ton of hats just like I do, and I have a great amount of mutual respect for him. It was great to sit down. He was the first one to reach out to help me with marketing what I was doing with bars and the compilation, and showed genuine interest in what was going on. Great soul, golden heart. It was a great time. Thank you so much, Jay, for giving me the opportunity.
But what advice maybe you're giving him, or what advice would you give maybe a upcoming artist that's watching this or wants to get a piece, a nugget, something they can, besides we just said take a lot of L's, so that's a good starting point, but I mean, what would you say, you know, coming up, how to get where you want to go, whether it be building fans, releasing a record, staying focused, like you were saying in Brazil, that type of shit. Like, what would you say, bro?
I got a couple tips, but the one I gotta lead with is just do it.
C Major is an artist. He's part of WSFG with Sleep So Focused. It's a clique, a group that they have together. C Major is an excellent singer. He came through and dropped an incredible hook for us. Can't wait to put the mix on it and see where the song goes. Next, Kane Toussaint and Joey Deuces came through to record a track called Blow It Off. This was a track recorded on a J Trilla beat. It was actually the first time they had met each other. They were both a part of the same record label, but they had never met in person before. And they got the opportunity to meet right here on Glade Street for the first time. And they put that opportunity to good use and put together a great song.
Me and Joey Deuce, we about to get.
Precise Flynet came through and completely blew my mind. I'm convinced that he traveled here from the future just to experience this moment. I'm 100% convinced. You can't tell me otherwise. This guy is a complete character. I absolutely love his energy, and what he brought to the project is something different. It's a little experimental. I personally just extremely enjoyed the recording session with him. It was a very colorful moment and a sea of tons of colors going on.
Round 1, 2, 3, 1. The fuck you know. Round 2, I'll dumbfound you, and only you know you here cause fate found you. No YouTube how to, I'm about to bound the noose or maybe hit. My fault. I'm usually at one take for like at least 6 bars.
Next, I got to meet Devin, aka Sip. Devin's one of the artists that I chose in this process. I really like his style and his personality. He's a great songwriter. I got a chance to see his songbook, and the way he writes is like no one I've ever seen before. It was excellent working with him, and I can't wait to work more with him in the future.
Hey, you said what I was thinking. I was like, I ain't gonna just be like, let me out. But I'm saying that like that.
Trilla and King Clark got to cooking up some beats in the back in Studio B. It was great to see some producers start working together. Even if, you know, very minimal got done, it was just great to see them working together in the same project.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I was with some of my shit.
You gotta play that shit for motherfuckers.
Then it got to that point that shit, motherfuckers, shit, that's what keep you motivated, cause motherfuckers, they the fans of your shit. You gotta go off their ears too sometimes too. That's how I have to look at it. Hell yeah.
So late in the night, Raven, Robbie, ISO Sid, Devin, and JoJo all came together and wrote a song called Freaky Dancer. The amazing part about this experience was that I had chosen all these artists individually in private with each one. They had no idea that they had all been chosen to have backstories done on them in the documentary, yet somehow they were all drawn together and they made what I think is a radio hit called Freaky Dancer. After an extreme amount of patience, Ashley, aka Nen Ruse, came through and dropped a very solid track. I really appreciate her being so patient. She waited a very long time. I think Freaky Dancer took something like 6 hours. By the time she had gotten into the studio to record her song, it was like 6, 7, or 8 in the morning. It was a long day. Day 5 was the longest day. So thank you very much, Ashley. You became a very important part of this whole process, and I'm glad that you waited for your opportunity, for your chance to get involved.
I recorded a few verses, and the chorus, I need to go back over it, but it's good enough for now. I've been here a long time.
Day 6. Luck Duke and Don Don have been here since they found the place, and they're completely ecstatic about the creative environment that I've created. They've been here every day making songs back in Studio B, just practicing and harnessing their skills, and that's exactly what that setup is for. It's great to see it being used the way it's meant to be used.
Like I like what you said. Don't say, just want you to lie to me. Cause don't tell her like you want you. Cause when they listen to it, they listen and they articulate. I say, go ahead and lie for me, baby. Just make sure you don't lie to me. You feel what I'm saying? But articulating that. What you mean lie to you, but you don't want me to lie to you? I said lie for me. I know. What you mean lie for me, baby, like to the police or something. You know what I mean? Okay. Just go ahead and lie for me, baby. Just make sure you don't lie to me, baby. You feel me? I see what you're saying.
Finally, it took 6 days, but we got an actual cipher going in the space. It was great. High energy in the room. It was just really cool. I love ciphers. I love it when people are just freestyling and they're passing from one to another. It's just a great thing to see happen, and I'm so glad that it started here.
No condoms, holding 40s, talking protection. I ain't have a childhood, I was stressed. Mama working, pop lock, let's talk reflection. When I was given childhood, I refused it. Thought I was gone, caught in a rap for collusions. Man, I'm talking about past the Peruvian. Fuck Nickelodeon, past the Peruvian.
King Clark has become another staple, showing up almost every day, wanting to cook up, wanting to work with artists, custom create on the spot. Again, couldn't ask for a better producer to come along and love the space as much as I do.
So that's him.
No, that's her. Nettin Roos.
Nettin Roos.
The producer. Yeah, just say, give me a little tagline like I met
Nettin Roos. Yeah. She's a producer. Yeah, okay.
Production and
yeah, so I would call her Ashley.
Yeah.
It's just I could have sworn I heard that, so that's why I
No, that's her name.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah.
Netta Roos. Nettin Roos. Okay,
that's her
Nettin
artist.
Roos. Yeah, Nettin Roos.
Next, all the artists that I chose for the documentary created a song called Got to Say. This was a really special moment. I actually made the beat on the spot for them and then produced it and placed the artists where I heard them. Turned out to be a really great song. It's actually going to be the closer on Bars Volume 1. And it was awesome to work with all the artists and see how they approach things differently and grow with it.
Phillmeeh. He's doing it right now, man.
I know I've been on the road for some time now. So baby, don't forget me. Cause I'ma run it out one more time now. Drop that 808 in that end.
Bobo 2 Real Gutta is Sleep's cousin. I've introduced him before. He is hungry, driven, motivated, everything you would want to find in an artist. And he's massively skilled. Here's a couple words from Bobo that I thought was very inspiring and motivational.
Going to prison, nigga, when you go to prison, niggas come home with the mind state of, damn, I got a felony, I can't get no jobs. My mind state was, damn, I got a felony, I gotta be a boss.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Granted, I don't want to really work nowhere. I want to pull up like, okay, did you order napkins, nigga? Did you, okay. Yeah, I got this shit good. All right, I'll see y'all next week. You know what I'm saying? That's all the nigga really want to do anyway.
Robbie and Sid have been here every day since they found the place, and they actually started picking up slack and helped me out with recording a lot of the sessions. They actually stepped in and became recording engineers during the process of this whole month-long extravaganza. What I really like about Robbie that I noticed right out the gate is that he is not afraid to be a producer. So he has a great ear for music. He has a great mind for it. And I saw him multiple times helping artists put together their songs and maybe approach things a little bit differently or bring a new idea to the table to help them craft their skill. It's a really great quality to have in the studio, and it was really great to see Robbie utilize it.
Put that rope up. Been telling lies to get the common people's hopes up.
Since Robbie is one of the artists that I chose, I figured this is a great time to transition into the backstory on Robbie. So we're gonna move into that now.
I love music. Music is life. I tell people that all the time.
And I can't fuck with that bitch. I felt that pressure from the street. I was fancy. Since I got back up on my shit, I knew they had me. And I couldn't wait for anybody else to say it. I found myself up in that music and it's sad. Music played a huge part of my life. It stopped me from doing a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Being a part of negative activities. You know what I'm saying? When I want to go to the booth, sometimes it'll be available for me. You know, sometimes it wouldn't. When it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I'm with the gang. I'm with my niggas. Man, I ain't had too many options.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We don't, coming from, you know, my mother did her best to do what she had to do to keep a roof over our head. You know what I'm saying? I'm the oldest out of 5. So, you know, it's me, 3 girls, and 1 boy. So, my mother raised me to be a leader. You know, she raised me to be the oldest, the man of the house. You know what I'm saying? So, in my eyes, no mother can really raise a man. You know what I'm saying? Except for a man to raise a man. You know, and I ain't had that. So I taught myself how to be a man.
Robbie's witnessed something most of us would never dream of. He saw his best friend get murdered. Something like that is difficult for anybody to get over.
My brother died when I was 16, and I witnessed him get killed, and it messed me up, and I went like down on a very bad spiral after that for a long time, and music dug me out of that hole. I was in a dark ass hole. Music dug me out of it. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm starting to notice a common theme. I think music, in the art form of it, is a form of therapy.
Really get on board, bro, and really do what they supposed to do, bro, and really come together. Because on this stage and platform, bro, I would have never linked up with certain niggas. You feel what I'm saying? Like, see it from the South, bro. I'm from Jackson Hill. I'm from the North. You feel me? That's my nigga, bro. Like, I love that nigga, and I met that nigga here, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we all coming together, bro, and this is what we needed. This is what we needed. As creatures of habit, because all humans are creatures of habit, this is my habitat. And in my habitat and in my environment, I was able to create something beautiful out of something that's ugly, you know? So, what's up, baby?
What's up, bro? Gucci. What's up, though?
You alright?
You already know.
I ain't never been the type to leave my man's good. Soon as I make it out that mud, I help my mans up. Yeah. Run up a check or run your bands up. Yeah. Run up a check or run your bands up.
The main goal is to always inspire. I want to inspire people. I want to be the best version of myself, so that when people see I'm the best version of myself, it'll inspire them to be the best version of themselves. And only that way and that way alone can we start to see real change. I want to put forth change within the world. Like I said, music has the power to change the world. And I'm good at music. So if I have the power to influence the world for the better, you try to do it. I know better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I may be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm thugging, but shit, I ain't done. You know what I'm saying? So, I want to do the right shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to make it to that next level and take care of my family. That's really it.
Day 7 was basically the usual suspects. We started out the day with Babyboy Robbie and ISO G Sid in Studio A. They've been coming every day since they found the place. They really love it. They are two artists that I chose to do a little bit more of a backstory on in the film. I love their energy, and I love all the songs that they've been putting together.
Pop the bean, now I speed rise. Baby, you know the cash the only thing I'm chasing. But I can't fuck with other bitches cause they bass. I felt that pressure from the shit that I was fast. Since I got back up on my shit, I know they hate me. And I can't wait for anybody else to save me. I found myself up in the music and it saved me. Hey.
Next, my friends from Grand Rapids, Santino and Zach, came through the studio. And also my good buddy Edward Draven arrived around the same time, and he brought this really awesome piece of equipment. He brought in a Moog analog synthesizer, and we got to play around with that. It was great to have my friends from Grand Rapids there for that moment. Love seeing Manly inspired. Sir Manly is in his office and he's cooking up, making beats, and getting his workflow down. Love to see it. To end the night off, we had Raven recording in the studio with Sid working as an engineer. I love seeing Sid grow in this environment. His energy is inspiring to me, seeing him learn and work with the new technology that I put in front of him. Watching him pick it up and learn it so quickly and become so confident in the studio as an engineer is great.
Minor.
Yeah.
Go again.
What you doing that for?
No.
What you doing that for?
Kashmir Kelly came through for the first time. Again, another standout person who came along. He dropped not just great songs, but he brought great energy. He was always a great boost to pick me up any of the days that he spent at the studio. So it was great to have him.
What do we have to look up to? You know what I'm saying? It's different. I can't, like, it's like, so, I'm gonna put it like this. You see how everybody talk about Chicago? Mm-hmm. Chicago gun violence, and it's like every week or every 2 weeks somebody around here gets shot. If they ain't get shot, they down from a health bomb or something. There's so much death around this bitch. We don't know shit like niggas at that point. I was like, damn man, I'm finna hate this nigga for, man. He said, you know, he losing, we losing people, like, you know what I'm saying? We can't. So I be trying to tell niggas, man, it ain't even about making peace. It'll never be peace around this bitch, but what we can do though, man, we could at least knock, you know, turn down the volume on the shit a little bit, man. It's fucked up, man. I hate this shit.
I got to meet Dontel early on in the studio opening up, but he actually came in. He's an engineer, and he engineered his first session. He did a song called Bands with Kashmir Kelly and Sid.
100 grams of dog, bitch, I'm getting off. I just flipped the work like a somersault.
It's day 9, and I got to meet Kale Kwan for the first time. Kale Kwan is super hungry, super driven, and extremely talented when it comes to being an artist and utilizing the microphone. It's great to work with him, and I'm glad that he enjoyed his time that he spent at the bar's compound making the music that he made. Robbie and Sid got to work once again. They worked on a song called Pop Tarts. I think this song has a lot of potential, and it's great to see them utilizing the studio and finding time for themselves.
Fuck with my niggas, we gon' pop up like a toaster. Spin up on your block and we gon' spray this bitch all over.
At some point, I went back to Studio B and I made a horrorcore style beat for an artist that was there looking for a horrorcore beat. It didn't end up getting used, but it was a pretty cool experience.
Getting head in the cloud, the rug softer than the mink. Fur line slip, a big dip in my backdrop. I got 10 hoes and 10 more on my laptop.
I got to meet KJ. KJ is an incredible singer. It was an excellent session working with him. He dropped a very cool song.
What you wanna do, cause you know it's me and you. I'm gonna hold you down where there is no one around. How do you like no other? Baby girl, you're not my past, you're my future. Why?
Meek Dalla came through. He was a total professional to work with, probably one of my favorite artists to work with. He just cut through all the nonsense. One take wonder. Came in, was prepared and ready, had beats made by Muskegon producers with him, on him. It was just perfect. He came through and got 100% perfect.
No feelings, I went numb from the sound of the gun, prescription pills and the killings. I don't feel it. A hell of a motherfucker to deal with this track on fire. And I don't feel this. Nigga, I don't feel shit. And here go shorty with this love shit. Show and tell me all the time, but I don't really trust that bitch. It's no feelings. That way, I won't miss him. Not a problem if I choose to kill him. Nigga, I ain't got no feelings.
Rico Lotta comes through, drops the track. Very classic style. Love his energy. He's very driven, very motivated, very cool.
I want your hooks to be like duh.
With my duh.
Yeah, or like, you know what I mean?
Put my.
So it can stick out.
Okay, put my shit in there. All right, yeah. I'm ready.
CTM Co comes through, ends up dropping a verse on a track called Juice, started by Kashmir Kelly. This track has like 6 artists on it. Totally embodies the idea of what the Bars compilation is meant to be. Sip came through and made a song called Freakin' Friends. The song is awesome. It was a great session, and it was great to work with him on something that he had arranged and composed himself.
And friend, something like almost like my best damn friend. And even when ain't no one else around you, there I can depend on you. Yeah.
Now that we're here, let's take a minute to talk about Sip and go more into his background and where he comes from.
I can't go a day without music, man. Like, that shit, it sets the tone for me. Music, for real, like, it's the vibe, it's the energy behind the wave. Everybody doing their own thing and their own thoughts, but I feel like music always in the background. It's a part of the ambiance. Everybody moving at their own frequency, you know what I'm saying? That's just their life. And somehow moving to their own melody, you know what I'm saying? And what you listen to is just a part of who you are.
My freaking friend, I'm your freaking friend. I'm about to let him fuck my bitch.
Yeah, I like that.
Peanut butter, the jam. I keep the bed smoking to bed. She know I'm sleep. I got drinks and always bully the bed. My shoulder to cry, you all listening, Aaron, no reaching hand. Just call me up on them late nights and I'll come beat it in because you ain't just my freaking friend. I'm your freaking friend. Yeah, you should. Hey, bro, nigga gonna fall asleep with the blunt in his hand.
You always had the people that was also in your school system keeping track of you, and it was pretty guided. We had the right people telling us what to do, keeping us inspired, letting us know to stay on track of our grades. Just, you know what I'm saying, mama figures, daddy figures, And then keeping us, you know what I'm saying, we all athletes and stuff too, so, you know what I'm saying, they steer us in the right direction. It was growing up here for me was pretty, you know what I'm saying, based around sports and stuff like that in school and academics.
Devin found clarity and guidance through the school system. He played a lot of sports, and that kept him on track and on the right path. But that doesn't mean the streets still wasn't, affecting him or a part of his life.
A lot of my friends, you know what I'm saying, the people I hung around, because we were so wrapped up in sports, you know what I'm saying, you didn't really have time to do nothing else. By the time your day was over, you know what I'm saying, you going home, depending on what your situation is, you cool. But I got like some friends, you know what I'm saying, they out here, you know what I'm saying, they doing good, they ain't bad peoples or nothing like that. But I wish they would have stayed in the sports, you know what I'm saying.
Something like my, almost like my best damn friend. And even when ain't no one else around you, that I can depend on you.
It'll start as a phrase, or like I hear a melody in my head say, I'm at work, I do a lot of work, and I work at Little Caesars, and I done said something like, to tell the truth, the mind's piercing my soul, the chill cold, move smooth, cause I'm feeling the flow, you so gold. And I thought of that, and I'm like, oh shit. So like, it'll start off with a couple bars, and then throughout the day, I'm just hearing it in my head over and over again, and then I start writing that shit down. When I got time, it's usually when I get to the crib, I relax, elevate, and then I come back in the crib and throw the headphones in, and I get to write to it. I got like 4 or 5 notebooks, composition notebooks. I got like a journal that I write my thoughts and the songs in, and I got a bunch of notes on my phone. Too many notes. You gotta write your shit down. I should be yelling my bad. Oh, then she be hitting the dash. Oh, yeah, she be shaking that ass. Oh, that nigga had it gonna head blast. Oh, I'm like a fucking rocket. Plucking range like a socket. And I'm finna diddy bop it. She like it because I'm fucking popping. Oh, yeah, I gotta drop it. Like Communicate. People can talk to you in so many different ways than just what they're saying out their mouth. Music is a big way I do it. Not only through the music that I make, but the music that I listen to and shit like that. But communication and understanding people is key. You know what I'm saying? If you understand music, you understand people. Learn from your music and be able to speak that. You feel me?
The way, yeah. Niggas tryna ride the way. Mad at the kid cause I paved the way. Got a whole lot of bands on me. Got a whole lot of bad bitches hands on me. And I ain't got time today. No time for the games, I got time to get paid. I'm just being honest, I don't love them the same. I'm in love with Mary Jane and I'm in love with the game. Bitch, I'm getting high today. I done been through the jungle, I done seen the snakes. Got me feeling all kinds of pain. I'm on family snaking me and changing ways.
This is Twan and Moot. They're both great vocal performers, and they recorded a wonderful song with me in Studio A.
I'm Moot, harmonize, you know. I'm Twan, Twin Lake. I do everything.
But yeah, there's a lot of people I ain't even seen before, a lot of unique talent, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of diversity in this building, and it's different. It's something I ain't seen in the city of Muskegon or Muskegon Heights before. And that Phil, you really putting it together, you doing this thing.
Shout out to the homie Phil for this, bro. Me, when I walked there, I like the vibe. You know, I told all my homies, like, well, I actually talked to Chain, and when he said that he had been here, I said, I better go check. Because this motherfucker, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I had been hearing it from everybody else, but when I heard from him, I said, I better go. So I pulled up by myself, and it was dope, bro. Like he said, it was a bunch of different niggas and shit, but, you know, it was dope. And what you doing is a good thing, bro. Thank you. A lot of people, you know, need these opportunities and shit like that. So, you know, it's a good thing, bro.
This is News Hoffa and Block Paper Magazine. They're not so much artists as they are people behind the scenes. News Hoffa is more in the management and business side of things, and Black Paper Magazine is a writer. He's an author. He writes all different types of very creative projects, and it was just, this project brought in the coolest people that I could imagine.
Obese Gang, Black Paper.
Hey, press the space button on
everybody in here. We all in here.
Press it again.
I'm doing that day of perfection. We doing that day some favor.
48 bottle, we make sure I sell the extras. Graduated from a student, now I'm living lectures.
Sleep, what's going on, man?
Right now, I just got out of work. About to record a little bit of music. First, I need some do-it fluid. Need a little bit of that do-it fluid in me. Yeah. The greenery, Herbalife.
Okay, then. Lil Dave, what's happening back there? You getting it?
No, you see what the fuck going on with Lil Dave, man. Don't need to ask you.
Man, that's that chicken,
Lil
man.
Dave, man, let me get a piece of that biscuit, man. Quit playing, man.
What's up with that chicken?
You raised you to be so real.
Ew, stupid as fuck.
I'm gonna have to speed that up. I'm over here fucking with this sample, Lady du Jour. I think that's the name of it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you could really. I'm finna go crazy on it though.
This is Currency, a producer from right here in Muskegon, Michigan. Here he is cooking up something special for the project.
Find me some drums. And that's literally all I can play right now. I'm gonna find some drums and shit. We can work from that.
This is Kato. He came in with a really, really great sound, and I think dropped one of the coolest songs that we created in this whole Bars project.
I've been chasing money. I've been chasing dreams. I've been chasing money. I've been chasing money. I've been chasing dreams. Lately I've been losing sight of everything in front of me. Slowly running out of love. Now she replacing me. I can tell my time is coming, so I'm waiting patiently.
Rico Lotta is back, this time with the Michigan anthem.
Y'all know what it is. Represent that murder myth, nigga. Where I'm from, we surrounded by prisons and Great Lakes, where homies is pit bulls, gorillas, and great apes. Only source of getting money, pimping and moving weight. That's how it is and how it's always been in Michigan State. Where I'm from, we surrounded by prisons and Great Lakes, where homies is pit bulls, gorillas, and great apes. Only source of getting money, pimping and moving weight. That's how it is and how.
Day 12, my favorite day of the whole month. This was producers night. So what I did was I lined up for a bunch of different producers to come in and set up in every little corner available in the building and start making beats together, work on it, collaborate, and see what we could come up with. It was a great success. There was tons of things going on, and I'll try my best to show you what happened. To start off, I invited my friend Zach, who is a guitarist. I've known him for years. We go way back. We've played in a bunch of different groups together over the years, and we've just had a great friendship the whole time. I invited him over in hopes that, one, I could get some guitar licks out of him, and two, he could meet and collaborate and record with some other producers. And that's exactly what happened, so it was great.
me see something one more time? Oh, man. They done got us for the mustard. They got us for the mustard. They got us for the mustard. Oh. Got us for the motherfucking mustard. Who took the mustard, bro? Who took the mustard, bro? They coming up here every now and then.
What's up, man? What you working on? What you been doing?
I'm showing him that joint we hopped on. Me, you were raving. He took the mustard, bro. You heard me? I'm showing him the joint. Me, you and Raven hopped on.
I'm D-Wave 4627, and I'm a producer from Muskegon, Michigan. It was cool. I think it's a nice opportunity for people in Muskegon to come together and network and, you know, build together and, like, make a foundation to get Muskegon on the map.
Fucking link up sometime to produce and exchange clips and shit, like, because I be producing all the time. So.
Sure.
Is that 20?
Yeah, this 20.
So.
I came into the studio today, you know, as soon as I walked in, it was like, being sarcastic, but 90,000 producers in this bitch making beats. I'm talking about even people that don't even make beats for real was behind trying to learn how to make some shit. And instantly it was inspiring. Me and Phil, I talked to Phil about a beat like a week ago or some shit. A beat I had on my mind for so long, and he had Zach in here, you know. He was playing the guitar, the rhythm and shit that I wanted. He actually brought the shit to life. Like, I'm talking about when he was playing this shit, my heart almost jumped out my damn chest how good he was playing it. And then like on the beat, when we do the song, you're gonna see how good and how well he did.
Producers Night was a wild and crazy time. Lots of producers getting down, working together. It was so chaotic that I did not get all the shots that I needed to get throughout the night because I was enjoying myself working as a producer so much. But regardless, you get the vibe. It was amazing. Lots of collaborating, lots of enthusiasm, lots of energy. Now is a good point to transition into another backstory. This time we're going to go into the backstory of LFB JoJo. JoJo is a very confident person. It's what stood out the most to me when I first met him, and it's one of the main reasons why I chose him as one of the artists to have a backstory done on them. We all joke and say that JoJo is a reincarnated king, but it's actually true. He walks around like he runs the place, and he actually does.
I think music is pretty much, it's a skill, but it's also, I feel like people are just born with that natural ability, that natural talent. music is a part of my life because it pretty much helped me deal with my situations as far as like everyday life, everyday struggle, relationships. You know, music was just pretty much like a mentor with me my whole entire life. Anyways, yeah, it's pretty much one of the places where I pretty much call home for the meantime, even though I stayed everywhere in Muskegon. And yeah, and it's like really, it's me right here, you know what I'm saying? It's a tough place to grow up. I mean, you have to pretty much know how to adapt to your environment and stuff like that. You have to know how to move in situations. You can't just be, you know, like wake up the next morning and just, you know, just get to acting wild and stuff like that. It's more to it, but you just, you know, I grew up with all my cousins and stuff like that. And we were pretty close. We were like brothers and sisters, and we pretty much grew up together, you know, really, really close. And yeah, I mean, that's what it was pretty much like. You know, it was tough, you know what I'm saying? Like, we used to fight, laugh, have fun, you know what I mean? Just part of growing up in life, you know, learning things and stuff like that. When I make a song, it'll be like 4 in the morning. And I'll drop a song and just keep recording, and next thing you know, they just start coming, start making more music.
When did you start doing music?
I started doing music when I was 14, and I was with my homeboys, and his uncle had a studio in his basement with FL Studio, and that was the first time I ever recorded, and pretty much he was like, hey bro, we're all gonna make a song, we're all just gonna record something. And they was all nervous. I was nervous with my hands, you know, I'm just in front of my homeboys, but I was like real nervous. I was like real like kind of antisocial growing up. And I just pretty much faced my fears with that. I said, fuck it, just skip it, just hop in the booth and just face one of your fears.
Bro, yeah. Damn. I ain't even know. It hurt my soul. I can't even breathe. But real shit, I'm more alive when you up and leave. Hey, shit, let me breathe.
When I was growing up, I seen other artists in Muskegon, like, I'm not really good with names, but like a lot of dope older artists before my time. And I pretty much seen them do their own thing, you know, post their stuff. You know, YouTube wasn't really popping for us, so you pretty much just heard it, you know what I mean, wherever you would go. And I was just a little kid, you know, I snuck into a club one time and I seen him performing on stage and stuff like that. I was blessed to even still be in there because the security guards was on bull. I was like, yeah, this dude, he's a baby, get him out of here. But before they kicked me out, I still got to see them perform on stage and stuff like that. And it pretty much inspired me a lot.
Hey, my nephews was going off that Freaky Dancer, okay?
Yeah.
When we left here and they heard it, my homie was singing it since he woke up, okay? And that's their song. I don't even know these guys. I met these guys yesterday. That Freaky Dancer, when that shit hit, everybody gonna wanna hear that.
Off rip, I come up with a melody in my head. My cousin Angelo taught me that. He pretty much like, we'll be smoking and we'll be freestyling, vibing, whatever, and then he'll just start mumbling something. But then I would try to put words behind it. And then ever since then, it's just been way easier for me to make music because I just try to find that melody and I just put the lyrics behind them. The 808s, definitely like the snares and stuff like that. If it's just hitting, then I know I gotta cook up something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We here now. We here now. You always gotta keep thinking, moving forward. So
yeah, but the way that they're gonna remember us, bro, is if we become fucking legendary.
We gotta give them something to remember us by. We gotta give them something to remember us by. You feel what I'm saying?
Like this is the music right here. Right here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ever play chess?
I want my rematch
Bro.
too.
Yeah, we'll get the rematch though. Hey, I spanked him though the first game. Yeah, I feel like living in Muskegon, because we're such a small city, we're slowly getting known for the work that the other artists been putting in, and you know, the production and the cameramen, the engineers and the producers, you know, everybody's like, you know, starting to like really take a big role in it. So I feel like me personally, against the whole entire world, it's like 1 out of a million shot, but I'm gonna try to make the best quality music that I can possible.
Yo, Phill! Talk to me. Phill! 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 Hey, hey, this right here, this gonna be something. Phill. Hold on, I said, look.
Don't think that I had ever felt this kind of love before. Baby, when I'm around you, I just see like such a glow.
What I'm starting to recognize is that the studio is turning into somewhat of a sanctuary. Safe space where people feel free to be as creative as they want to be, stay as long as they like, and the limitless environment seems to be really, really great for everybody involved.
Like when you have my baby, when I be with you, it feel like I'm on. When I be with you, it feel like a vacation.
Talk to the ass,
When I be with you, it feel like a vacation.
Talk, hey.
Ooh, that bitch finna do so hard. That bitch finna do so much.
It's hard to be an artist because, like, an artist is like, our job as an artist is to take life, like the mundane, the everyday shit, and make it beautiful. Yeah, so I agree. So it's like, you know, you got to be a special type of mind.
Right. Yeah, you got to be real special. I mean, we came from a. I can't even describe how art is, cause you know it's like us drawing a picture on every song. You feel me? Like every song is a different story.
Yeah, we take your whole life. You niggas on that lame shit, no guys shit. Yeah, we pull up to the goddamn, we gon' blow your brain, bitch. Yeah, I be smoking on that Rasta. Yeah, I keep that ganja. Yeah, you niggas fake as fuck. I swear I keep that ganja. Yeah,
they offer you noodle like pasta. Fuck around with Volley in the booth, we off the Guini. We something to sleep in, we about to eat the beat and every beat they drop easy. And I'm playing with these beats now. Treat it like
I'm on this Henny lick. Yeah, I'm on this Henny lick. I can't even feel my face. Bitch, I'm lit like I'm over. Bobo did the race, yeah?
Hold on, I ain't have to do the race. Had the 40 in the waist. I put this in a nigga face. Talking crazy about that cash. Hold up, nigga, what you make? Hold on, nigga, where your safe? Where your bitch? Where your cake? I need everything.
You give us something with something else to take.
Nigga, where your cake? Hey, nigga, where you at? Hey, I'ma pull up on the block. I swear I hit your back.
Hold up, bro, you get the cake. I just want the yay. Take me to that safe, nigga. Show me where you stay, nigga. I might lay up on you in your bushes with the K. You drop out like it's another day. I hit you when I spray. Hold on. You gon' nay when they hit. Talking crazy. JJ in this bitch. Bobo Dynamite. JJ in this bitch. Hit you with the K. I'm talking about KK in this bitch. KK. Did you get that shit, bro? I'm talking about how you lynch a nigga. Hit that bitch, bro. Lean on it. I'ma hit that bitch, bro. Niggas going crazy. I'ma split that shit, folks. You don't understand. I've been doing this since a young man. Pull up on him with that 40 running man. Nigga, I make him jig, do that heel talk. Nigga, show me where them bills go. Hold on, I fuck your bitch, don't need no deal, bro. Nigga, you didn't got any deal, bro.
Hey, break that bitch down. Hey, break that on the back. Hey, she been
going crazy, this bitch,
When you leaving?
Giving out testers for all the times I messed up. But ain't nothing free there just to show my price is better. Don't want you to die by no robbery, get your life together. I'm advising you cause I promise you won't like the devil. Pop up like I'm karma just to harm you, I change the weather. I feel a new level. I'm all the way tapped in. I forgot about the comp, fuck around and lap them. She twerking my New Jersey, you know I be strapped in. And I'm buying all this shit cause I used to hate Max 10. Need me a Mac 10 and a Mac 11. I had them bitches blow together like they Mac and Devin.
You an artist, man, and sometimes when y'all get in writer's block, and y'all don't know what to do, and y'all ain't got no inspiration, move around. Get out the booth, go do something. Watch TV, watch a show, smoke a blunt, go do something. Cause like inspiration is very crucial. Like, and I'm knowing that. When you ain't got no inspiration, I guess you just in the wrong space at that moment.
This is Froster. He's a singer, song performer from here in Muskegon. He's been playing and creating music for quite some time. He's pretty well known around the area. Done quite a bit of feature work, runs his own studio, an all-around talent and an all-around great guy to hang around with.
Shawty said she wanna rap for me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Said she do that time for me. She a real rider, ooh yeah. Everybody asking where you find her. We ain't rushing shit, we take our time, bruh. Henny out the bottle, get behind her, yeah. Real, oh fuck, my fuck.
Watch my mans turn up in this motherfucker. Watch my bands run up in this motherfucker. I told them put your hands up in this motherfucker. Say we only going up in this motherfucker. Watch my mans turn up in this motherfucker. Watch my bands run up in this motherfucker. I told them put your hands up in this motherfucker. Say we only going up in this motherfucker.
Living in that dirty bottle, it get nothing under. You and your homie hanging on us, going fuck each other. I've been 100 since a child, I put it on my mother. In the school we steady vibing, ballin' every summer. No, you can't turn up like my homies, you get popped like a pimple. Pull out the tape, sometimes it be so simple. Probably go for like 10 more seconds and then my shit done.
For the one take, I think I got that. Stand when you play on me. Feeling like a pawn cause I play for keeps.
You in this bitch, little bro. This what you want, fool? Is this what you want?
I just need a way to numb my pain.
We in this bitch, little bro. What's poppin'?
What's good?
We in this bitch, man. Hey, if you had anything, if you could tell your future self anything, what would you tell him? Don't have kids. Shut up. Man, keep going. Keep grinding. Do you? Lenard.
On day 15, Robbie brought his younger brother in and one of his younger brother's friends to check out the studio and give them a private session in Studio A. I thought it was a really great experience for them to have, and it was really cool to see them work on a song that is all their own. That is really all that happened on day 15. So from there, we're going to go into another artist's background. This time, we are going to check out SOo Sid. Sid has been hanging around the studio since day one. He's actually stepped up and picked up the ball and ran with it. He has been engineering as a recording engineer many of the sessions along with Robbie. They've been a great, fantastic duo, but Sid specifically has really stepped up to the plate and knocked the ball out of the park. So let's go into his backstory right about now.
Nigga, every day we lit. She gon' shake that ass for all them dollars I done spent. Dripping on this way, yo bitch all on my dick, yeah.
Get my thought process right.
Not the thought process.
Let's get it up. Right. Shit, music is powerful. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the feeling. You know what I mean? When you hear some shit, or like, it don't matter what type of mood you in, that's how powerful music is. It don't matter what type of mood you in. Like, if you partying and you at the club, you feel me, you hear some hype shit, you gonna be hype. If you feeling down, you got sad music, you got all type of music. That's how powerful it is, and that's how I, you know what I'm saying, fell in love with it. Feel me? No cap.
Then shit, exercise.
Come on, man. You know, I know. I'm trying to do everything.
You writing, nigga? You writing something?
Me, yeah.
The barber, he ready. He running, he overlapping.
I need a new.
He ready for everything, nigga got to play. You hear me?
I need to go.
He
Trying to
working,
get like
man.
you, bro.
It's called.
Shit, look.
Alright, okay.
Music helped me get through like my toughest times and shit. Like, you feel me? Like, if I'm going through some shit, you feel me? And I come to the studio, like all the shit, all the negativity and all the bullshit I'm going through, like, music could just, you feel me, let all that negative shit out my head, you feel me? That's how I think it's a part of my life because I use it as therapy. You know what I mean? Like, I use it as therapy. Oh, shit.
What you doing that for? I call your phone, you never answer. I don't like this. I know that it's all probably my fault. Consequently, I know that karma's out to get me. I'll be searching for my soul.
Shit, I grew up in Muskegon Heights. And I mean, a lot of people I grew up with, went to school with, like, shit, either dead. A lot of people either dead or in jail, you feel me? Like, Muskegon it's a good place, you know what I'm saying, if you around the good people, but like I played basketball, so you know what I mean, I was a part of the good side of the shit, but like negativity is everywhere around Muskegon, so like, you feel me, you could just be at the wrong place at the wrong time, you feel me, and something might happen, anything, you know what I mean? Shit, like growing up around this, you gotta be focused. You gotta be focused on what you wanna do. You know what I mean?
You feel me? When I first had my daughter when I was in high school, you know what I mean? I did college, 2 years in college, and then after that, like, it got rough, so like, you know what I mean? I had to do something to support my daughter, you know what I mean? And the money wasn't flowing too good, so I had to do what I had to do. You feel me? I got another daughter, just had her, she won, so like, it's really crunch time.
Most of the behaviors we have in society are learned behaviors. And what Sid has been going through is witnessing how people made money around him and then utilizing those skills. For wrong or right, people still need to survive.
People, I was surrounding myself by watching their moves, watching how they got money in their pocket, and that was my influence.
I fucked up. Let me redo that bit.
Which one?
The second one, that last one.
This one?
Yeah. I fucked up, man. I'm gonna get that bitch, though.
This for the gang. Grah! Yeah! I'm on that.
Alright.
My writing process, really, I've been starting writing in my head, you know what I mean? Like, I really ain't been writing it, so I really just write it in my head. I get the beat, I hear the beat, you know what I mean, and whatever feeling I get from it, you know what I mean, I'm just gonna come up, say this, keep mumbling, and won't. I get 4 good bars, I boom, punch in and do another 4, you know what I mean? Shit, the beat gotta be good for me to inspire to write to go off it, you know what I mean? So if I hear the beat, what's gonna inspire me is how the beat sounding and however I'm feeling, you know what I mean? If I'm wanna get in my feelings, you know what I'm saying, I need a nice little melodical beat that I can, you know what I mean, express it out.
When I got with you, I wrote the dice, yeah. You took me away from the streets, yeah. We were like Beauty and the Beast, yeah. I got some love scars cut deep. How could you love me but don't trust me, yeah. I think these bills got control of. I think these bills took control of. And everything like would you have my back? When I be with you, it feel like a vacation. I be needing you, you're my medication. Taking you up on a daily. Just come back to me. Yeah, just come back to me. Why you gotta be so complicated? I'm drawing out my problems like an illustration. Just come back to me.
I want to say motivation. I want to give everybody motivation to keep striving on what you're doing, you know what I mean? No matter how you feeling, no matter how you, I just want to give you motivation to whatever you're doing. If you got to go work a 9 to 5, you feel me? I want to give you that motivation. And for the young ones, young kids that's younger than me, I want to give them the motivation to like, you ain't got to settle. You ain't got to settle for what Muskegon giving you. You know what I mean? You ain't got to settle. You can, you feel me? You can do whatever you want to do. Put your mind to it. You know what I mean? So like when you hear my music, I want you to be motivated with what you're doing.
At this point, it's time for leaders like myself to step up and start providing. Stop talking and start providing. Start doing something to move it forward, because everybody's gonna emulate, right? People are gonna see me do this film and put this compilation together and shit, and they're gonna emulate, right? They're gonna want to do it. They're gonna feel empowered to do it themselves. Some people could look at it negatively and be like, oh, they're just copying. To me, it's like, fuck, man, if I can get people to emulate what I'm trying to do, it'll make the whole shit better.
I mean, but if you think about it, think about when DMX and Ja Rule and all them, they wasn't even popping yet. Beanie Siegel, they was all on tour together.
Yeah.
Like, the tour bus was fucked up, the hotels was shitty and all of that, but if it wasn't for that experience right there, we would have never knew who none of them was.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, like, so
together.
this is one of them processes where it's like, oh, I never heard of that person, but they from the city and that shit was cold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Listen, I know you probably thinking, nigga, we done heard it all, so it's new, you could, hold on. I'm finna try to.
This is Amaze. Amaze easily makes everybody's top 5 list as far as rappers go in Muskegon. But his mindset is a much bigger picture. He's a lot like me. He sees great opportunity out in the world, and he would not only like to go out into the world and get it, but he would like to represent for where he's from and what created him, which is Muskegon.
Listen, I know you probably thinking, nigga, we done heard it all, so it's new, you could tell us to sell us. I don't want to hear about your brand new watch or whips you cop. We in a struggle, I don't mean to be jealous, yeah. And I gotta, hold on. Damn, I'm trying to think. Turn that tune off that one.
Just trying to make me away. Hey.
This is Fenton Tarantino. I've known Fenton for a long time, and I've been following him and what he's been doing with music. I've always been a super fan, and it's great that he found an opportunity to make it here into the studio right in the last days. He put together one of my favorite tracks on the album, and I'm just gonna let it play from here on out.
So I just wrote this shit today, bro. Just like 30 minutes ago. D-Wade sent this shit today.
I swear to God, I ain't even think I was gonna do no track on this shit, though.
D-Wade on track.
Like, I at least gotta give one.
Who the fuck do I think I am? Walking in a motherfucking building just like I'm the man. I've been up like for some days and I've been thinking about a lot. Niggas supposed to be my bros, but they turn into the ops. Niggas all up in the way, they been coming for the top. Ain't been feeling niggas' ways and ain't gon' act just like I'm not. I've been blowing too much pressure, trying not to pop a top. Man, my life just like a threat, so trying not to hurt nobody. Hey. Surfing through the waves, and I can smell the blood from miles away. And I ain't got no damn time to play. Don't you get it, gotta get it in the night and day. And I've been surfing through the waves, and I can smell the blood from miles away. Never week, every week, trying to think of a way, just trying to make me away.
I love music, man. Music makes me feel very good, man. It makes me feel all kind of ways, good, bad.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that come with music, but I love music. You know what I'm saying? It is who I am, and it got me where I am today.
This is Sleep. I go way back with him. We've traveled the country together. I've reunited him with family members he hadn't seen in a long time. We've been working in the studio together for 5 years now, I believe. We have a deep relationship and a lot of respect for each other.
Yeah. And they love me too. God was supposed to teach you this lesson, I'm just a substitute. God who thinks he's hotter than sleep is a fucking fool. I'm here to flush out all that fuck shit you've grown accustomed to. I'm untouchable, I'll break you without even touching you. You know that I know that you knew that this shit was nothing new. Hit your street ball like a savage, 21 jump on you. Niggas ain't making no noise, I brung the muzzle through. This ain't even flexing, I ain't
That was right though, and how he hopped out the car and shit. That was
yeah.
Right.
I went through a lot of things in Muskegon, man. You know what I mean? Like, I went through like, I went through everything, you know, everything a normal person would go through.
I'm saying, like, was it like a lot of options here?
Like, not really, like, for real. You know what I'm saying? Not really as far as from my standpoint, you know what I mean? A lot of people's standpoint too. But at the same time, it's like, you had the normal options. Go get a job, you know what I'm saying? Go to school, go to college, go, you know what I mean? Other than that, it was hit the streets.
350 just to get the pumping. Put the profit in the safe that I ain't even done with. 6 M's, that's a damn good number to quit. You throwing passes on the fly, I ain't fumbling shit. You skipping stones off the water, bitch, I'm tumbling bricks. Your paperwork don't match the story, that's some troubling shit. Fuck it, I just fill my lungs with the piff. Jump in the 6, find an enemy, I'm dumping the clip. Coming from nothing, not even a little bucket to pizza. Who fucking with this shit? No one specific, get the Western, run the Pacific.
I am Muskegon, I'm just painting a picture of Muskegon, you know what I'm saying, when I'm making my music. I'm just a reflection of Muskegon. Everything that I do is Muskegon, you know what I mean? Any move that I make, you know what I mean? Anytime I go somewhere, motherfucker gonna ask you where you from, you know what I'm saying? Cause I'm not gonna be moving like the niggas that's from there or so on and so forth.
That's rapping, I like that too.
Told me I was crazy for chasing my dreams. Been going fat boy crazy, stuff cake in my jeans. Ties on that Mercedes, I'm making them screech. Yeah. I hopped out with your old lady, straight making the scene. Frustrated cause I can't fit this K in my jeans. You ever play me, be the day you won't wake up from dreaming. Oh, baby, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I want it to be some hard shit.
Yeah, I like that shit. Say that shit down the ride with me, but my niggas down the ride. Say that shit down the ride with me, but my niggas down the ride. I ain't talking about I ain't fucking with these niggas, I'm just trying to get my money up. Niggas ain't know me, but they bitches always down the fuck. Got them at the shows, we just counting all them pros. Trying to get some more hoes, trying to hit another city. Trying to get that good. My nigga said he did his best gritty in another city. And I'm on this bitch. I'm on this bitch, yo bitch with me, she on my dick. She said dick and ball, she do the whole, she did the click. I don't fuck the bitch, no, wait a minute, I don't kiss that bitch. And that stitch chick is his main bitch.
This is the lowest of my life right now. I feel like it is. But I feel like this is also the turning point too. This is where it's gonna go over into, you know, the next page of what my life is, you know, because when you're young, you can't grasp reality. Like you have no clue.
This is footage that I did with Sleep in early 2015 when I first met him. This has never been seen before, and we got pretty deep in the interview, and I've been waiting for a chance to use it that makes sense. So what better time than now to reveal some of it?
I mean, I just want people to know, like, express yourself, like, no matter what it is that you're doing. Like, if you paint with all of your heart. Like, no matter what it is that you're doing, do it with all of your heart. Like, go hard to 100%. Like, don't let nobody tell you nothing about it. Just go. Like, if you ride a skateboard, whatever it is that you're doing in the world out here, just do that. go hard with it. Because people told me, like, man, you're not gonna be able to, like, my teachers told me, you can't make music, you can't do that. What? It's crazy, just go express yourself, man. However you express yourself, let it out. Don't hold back on, like, cause you know that feeling. I can't even explain it to you. Like, whoever's watching this right now, like, whoever's gonna be watching this, whatever. You know that feeling, like, you know. Just whatever it is that you're gonna do, just do it. And go hard at it.
And I think Sleep just summed up where I'd like to end this film. So with that being said, I think the eternal message is just keep pushing, keep going, keep chasing your dreams. We had an ambitious goal starting at the beginning of the month. It actually started with just me, and it turned into this beautiful thing. I set a crazy goal 2 weeks into it to do a rough cut premiere at the movie theater on December 26th, and I made the date. It was a crazy day getting everything exported properly and learning all these new things, but I got it done and we got to watch the movie. We sold out the theater, and that was an incredible feeling. So anything that has happened after that point has been a check mark in the win box. Here's to you, Muskegon. May we always prosper and dream bigger than you could ever imagine. Peace. This is Phillmeeh.